Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 20th of July. So what we've got in store for today, well, let's look at the risk impact first, potential risk. Looking at Wednesday then, we've already seen the inflation data out for the UK, came in higher than expected there slightly. We've already had the Reserve Bank of Australia governor speaking. That's happened and out the way. So for the rest of the day, we've really just got this inflation data. That's their sort of headline data coming out. I will just check again my other. So I've already had a lot of data coming out. Got some very low key data coming out. Canadian. Okay. Canadian inflation data coming out there at 1:30. Already covered that. Some existing home sales, so some bit of US data coming out at 3 o'clock. Again, it's a bit of a guide to what the markets are up to and how the retail sector is shaping up a little bit. So a bit of a good clue there. The rest of the stuff is quite low key, so not a great deal more there. Right, let's get on and look at the markets then, starting off looking at the euro dollar. So I was just looking at this and thinking it looked a little bit on the maybe rollover basis, and I noticed it's already picking up as I've thought and said that. But where are we today? Well, so I'll come back to that daily first, and we've retraced into the daily 21, just through it a little bit there, marginally through it. Looking at the dailies here, there's a couple of points I was looking forward to see if it broke down, and would still look to see if it breaks down this sort of 10118 area. I'd certainly be changing the idea on it at the moment, but for now it does look like it's got potential of a continuation. It's when you look at the detail of it on this shorter time frame, it looked for a moment like perhaps it would roll over, but I'm seeing it starting to see it being bought immediately before 8 o'clock, and we could just see a continuation of this to the upside the way it's been running. So got to be a bit careful though, because we do have the ECB meeting tomorrow. It might work okay today for a while, but I expect at some point it will consolidate a little bit more. Well, we've seen this consolidation every day, where it's sort of yesterday it had its shove up on its 8 o'clock bar, and that was pretty much it. We're into sort of almost summer trading here. The pound dollar is to pull back again to its daily 21 there, similar picture. Bit uglier on the 4 hourlies here. It's done this sort of triple top. It's got this sort of level of resistance here that it's struggling to get past. The question is, it's almost into its pivot here. Can it get a big enough bounce off this to push it back up there? But again, consolidated for most of yesterday afternoon. It was just that initial shove that got it there, and then nothing afterwards. Unfortunately, if you miss the shove, you've missed the day really, and that's the way it might be if you haven't got a decent setup to be taking on that movement. You just got to be patient and wait for the next one, and might be a day or so coming at this rate. We'll see what develops this morning on it. Still, as I say, erring on that bullish side. There'll be traders and there'll be stops, like a goodly number of stops sitting across the top there, I should imagine now, from the sellers into the market. Dollar yen. Well, the yen, as I looked at it a moment ago, and it's still looking that way. It ended up with a doji bar yesterday into the lows there, back into its 8 moving average, daily 8. Coming down the time frames there, you go see it's 4 hourly 50. It's broken its trend line for now. Question is it going to continue in this direction? It's above its weekly pivot where it sits. Is it going to continue to the upside, or are we going to see another breakdown and a continuation to the downside? But just going to wait to show it until it starts showing its hand. It's quite choppy. You can see how it's range bound on the hourlies here. It's stuck between a couple of areas, and it's when it sort of shows its hand a little bit from that. It does look soft, of course, from the original price action. This could be just a blip, a retrace. some profit taking, whatever it might be, doesn't really matter. We'll see which way this fires, but the short-term trend there, intermediate-term trend, is certainly to the downside on it. Obviously the bigger time trend is very much to the upside, which might stop it coming down too quickly. Aussie dollar, where we've seen discussion on rates going through here. Sorry, I'll come back to the dailies. It's broken through. It's stronger than the others in terms of it's broken through. It's 21, it's 8, it's through there, heading at the moment towards its daily 50. Looking at the shorter time frames, it seems it's 4 hour 200 already, and again it's slowed up a little. Consolidation running really right away through. We managed to hold in there for a little bit longer with its acceleration, but it soon run out of momentum here and just slowed up. But we could see again the same sort of thing this morning, quite a shove around 8 o'clock, just after 8, and then consolidation. It's the way these markets work. Sometimes they just get a bit stuck. But you've got to remember, consolidation around a high would suggest further upside, and vice versa. Canadian dollar, bit of a messy one. It too consolidated yesterday. It was it's like watching paint dry at times. It still looks pretty much like it's set for further downside here. More strength coming through. There's your consolidation. It did actually kick in later in the afternoon. It started moving okay and got a bit of a wiggle on, but might be an afternoon trade, that one. But for now, heading south, needs a retrace to sell into, or at least give us a chance to get into a trade there. Okay, there's the majors. Still a bit iffy, but there is scope. Gold's well still sitting around its lows here, looking very bearish. In fact, it's probably broken a few trend lines across the lows there already this morning, and looking quite soft and sorry for itself. So nothing much to do there, apart from sit on the short side of it. Gold, looking at oil then. Weaker oil price normally puts the price of weaker dollar puts the price of oil up, but well, it did continue yesterday, sold off this morning, retrace this morning, but it has been shoving back up there yesterday. Again in the afternoon session, pushing up there, but off for now. We see these afternoon sessions, they're sort of 2 o'clock, we get the kickers. It did the key reversal there at 2 o'clock and has pushed up. Retracing at the moment, broken the near-term trend, looking a little bit softer, but we'll see. I don't really want to bat against it, trade against it, whichever. Okay, let's move on to the let's go and have a look at the other markets, and we'll look at the crypto market. So Bitcoin, we're seeing this through the crypto markets. They are seeing a bit of joy at the moment, a bit of a bounce that we've seen here. Ethereum particularly moving well. Looking at part of that's priced on some action that they're taking. Looking at here on the XRP, also bouncing. I mean the Ripple, Cardano, they're all pretty much bouncing at the moment. Now this may give people opportunities from the buy side. I'm still in the bigger time frames. I'm sort of wondering whether they're actually going to do a lot more, but they are doing what they're doing at the moment, and there's probably some money being made once again from these. But don't sell the house on the basis of them. Right, there we go. That's the crypto side. Let's now look at the equity markets. Starting off with CSI now. It's up marginally for today, but down on its open, looking a bit sorry for itself at the moment, and still to me overall, I'm quite bearish on these markets. I do realise they'll get rallies, and we'll see movements up. And the Nikkei has actually broken out of its wedge there, but it has left itself a gap behind, which may get filled at some point. But really, it was perhaps just filling the gaps on the other side here of the downside, just filling up there. But looking a little bit more bullish at the moment across the board, really. The Nifty 50 is gapped up through and doing pretty well. Quite a move up there for Nifty 50. S&Ps again broken out yesterday. Eventually broke out of this wedge. Broken to the upside. I was not really interested in buying this market. I was waiting to see if it broke to the downside. So, but it has broken to the upside, and if we continue to see the dollar sold, we'll see. These might continue for a bit more of a bounce from where they are. Dow Jones also just running into the prior highs there. Just managed to just pip through it a little bit, giving us a confirmed higher low now. So we certainly are on a turning point for now. And the Nasdaq also, look, has pushed out of that the upper side of its wedge. So maybe got a bit more on that. Looking closer to home, and the CAC, the French index, solid old move yesterday. It started it a little bit in the same way this morning. So we are seeing this sort of more positive risk on sort of across the markets to a degree. The DAX, I'm watching this, it's just run into its monthly pivot here and some prior highs there. Quite a mixed old day yesterday, and it's ended up quite positively. It's quite up and down. If you look at the hourlies there, there was certainly some down, but managed to get quite a shove on. Anyway, looking a bit more positive at the moment, and the FTSE, well, the FTSE hasn't opened yet. 2 more minutes to open there, but judging by these other markets, it'll open on the upside there as well. So it will push up higher. I should imagine it will work its way back above its prior high there. So it's yeah, looking positive this morning. So equity markets looking positive at the moment. Do I like them long term? No, I think more interest rates might have its effect, but for now we've got the risk on, and traders are trading the risks. So there we are. Okay, on that note, I will leave it there. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning.